This is the PYP Traveler, and today we're going to be discussing about one of the most important things the PYP has to offer. It's the PYP Planner. So before we start, we have to make clear that all the international schools are doing a transition from the legacy PYP to the enhanced PYP. Before the PYP enhancements, all the IB world schools that were PYP authorized were using the legacy PYP planner. It was consisted of 9 stages, which gathered all the information for the pre-planning before a teacher went inside the classroom to teach, and then the reflection part, which was completed after the unit was over. And of course, the 9th part, the last stage, was devoted for the teacher's notes. So we are going to be explaining each one of those stages. However, the most important part is the PYP Enhanced Planner. But we will get there as well. But you have to understand a little preview. So from stage 1 to 5, teachers would insert data from the unit, central idea, lines of inquiry, transdisciplinary skills, narrative profiles, attitudes, key concepts, related concepts, teachers' questions, learning engagements, formative and summative assessments, and action that students would take in order to understand the central idea. After the unit was over, then the teachers would complete their reflection part, which were stages 6 to 8. They would reflect on evidence that they collected from students regarding their understanding of the central idea, the key concepts, the transdisciplinary skills, the learner profiles, and of course, what went well, what could be better the next time for the formative and summative assessments. And adding students' questions and initiative action if there were any. In the last stage, the 9th stage, was the teacher's notes, where teachers could actually say whatever they wanted as a feedback from the unit. It could be lack of resources that prevented some actions from happening or some learning engagements from being fulfilled in 100%, let's say, accuracy, or what would be better to have next year if this planner was to be reused. Or maybe in the differentiation part would also be inputted there. It was something like a draft paper for teachers to include what the enhanced PYP planner actually made it in practice with the enhancements. Moving forward to the second part now. The PYP Enhanced Planner is a new version of the PYP planner. But here is a small catch, because from all the PYP coordinators and workshop leaders that I have discussed from the IB, they mentioned that as long as the agency, ownership, and voice of the students is there, the coordinators can draft and insert any PYP planner or platform in the specific school that they work. So we don't have this obligation, we don't have this restriction, let's say, of using a specific template of a planner for the enhanced PYP. However, there are some guidelines, some, let's say, key points that have to be included in any planner, PYP planner that is produced and applied in the classroom in a PYP school. Pretty much a planner that is introduced from the IBO as a suggestion that has all those elements that need to be there in any PYP planner, has some similar elements with the PYP legacy part, but the layout is changed. And also, we have some parts where the integration of the teachers is actually pointed out in the making. We have the planner that supports the ongoing assessment. You can have a formative assessment that starts from the first line of inquiry and can lead up to the end. It's up to you how you will modify this formative assessment, how many transdisciplinary areas you are going to add in this, what integrations you will pose into these formative assessments. All of those key concepts are formulated and cascaded down according to the learning engagements that they refer to. So you can make a draft, you can make something like a mind map that you include all those key elements that the students acquire, that the students practice for each single learning engagement. And this is very useful, significant, and meaningful. Whereas in the previous legacy planner, we would have all the learning engagements, and you would not have this space, you would not have this formula unless the PYP coordinator mentioned or you have agreed upon in a collaborative meeting to adjust and to display which key concepts, which TD skills, which learner profiles would be practiced, would be developed in its learning engagement. As we had a very useful collaborative meeting with our current PYP coordinator here in Brussels, she told us that you can have the whole unit with only 3 learning engagements. And you can spend your whole unit this way, which is actually meaningful. And it's actually very true, because if you take advantage of all the key concepts, you take advantage of all those questions, and you take advantage of all the learner profiles that you are investigating in this specific unit, you can actually unveil the central idea in a much simpler way. It's not wrong to use multiple learning engagements. It all depends on the teacher. It all depends on the individual. How will you manipulate? How will you take advantage of all the learning engagements, the time, the space, the materials that you have in store, the interest, readiness, and strengths of all the students that you have in your classroom? And here is the milestone of the PYP enhancements: agency, ownership, and voice. We have 3 words that define the PYP enhancements. We have agency. Agency means that you have the students with you when you are planning your learning engagements, when you are planning your assessments, when you are planning your general inquiry. You have your agents, you have your assistants, you have your co-workers, you have your collaborators, you have them with you, and you together agree upon what you will learn. The second one is the voice. The voice is when students express themselves and their choice is heard. So not only do you take into consideration the needs of the students, but you also do that. You also implement it in the classroom. And when the students see that this is happening, they feel that they have the ownership of their own learning. So let's say that Maria wants to learn about ancient civilizations in Egypt. Transdisciplinary theme is where we are in place and time, with the central idea that says, for example, cultures change over time. So how do cultures change over time? What can you learn about this? So Maria may introduce Egypt, and she can talk about the pyramids. So if you take those pyramids and you insert them into your inquiry-based approach that you are doing with your students, and your learning engagements are related to the pyramids, then Maria will think that, oh, I said something useful, something meaningful. So by learning more about the pyramids, they feel that, first of all, they were the teacher's collaborators because she was the one to introduce you to the pyramids. Then she feels that her voice was heard. So then in this part as well, we have the advancements and the development of all those skills. She becomes a risk taker. She becomes more confident in herself. And she also, when she learns about the pyramids and she learns about the ancient Egyptians and the medicine probably that ancient Egyptians invented and they shared with the world, she will have the ownership of the knowledge herself. She will feel proud that I thought of the pyramids, I shared this idea with my classroom, I shared this idea with my teacher, and boom, everyone learned about pyramids. And she will always remember this. So this is very meaningful to the enhanced PYP. Those three elements, they have to be in all the spectrum of the PYP learning. Now we live in a digital era. Many teachers, many coordinators, they have created databases that their teachers work on, and they do not have these individual Word documents or PDF documents that they used to be a hassle for anyone who worked collaboratively with. Because all those fonts and formats, it was not so easy to edit and save and print, whatever. It was a mess. So by having a digital platform, either this is the Google Drive, which is what I use, this is what we use in our school here in Belgium, or you have CISO, you have ManageBack, you have more platforms, Total, you name it. This is a very nice way to facilitate your collaborative work, because not only the editing part is so much easier and everyone can have access to it in no time, but you can also have your archive, you can also have your database of planners which you can exchange with other teachers, not only your school but also around the world. That was it, guys. The enhanced PYP planner was explained. I'm going to be sharing some information down below in the comment section. If you have any questions or ideas, please let me know. Don't forget to subscribe and like the videos if you want, and I would be more than happy to read your discussion below. Take care. See you in my next video. Bye bye, guys.